Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq. And I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll give everybody a moment to come on. Now, when I say everybody, I mean YouTube and Facebook. You all are the audience for now. I don't have another outlet, but Facebook and YouTube is all we need, right? We always welcome your comments. Also like to thank Marcus Guyton for everything that he does behind the scenes and making the show go further. Also like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. And if you guys would share this live so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly appreciate it. And I'm just going to tell y'all right off the top, as you guys saw, my topic is I've got nothing. And truly, I have nothing. And so that's why I'm going to heavily lean on the comment section for your input on what we should talk about today. So basically, I'm leaving this an open conversation.
Well, wait, before you get into that, Demetra, please tell everybody why you have nothing.
It's a kind of a multifaceted why I have nothing. I don't want to say I don't feel like talking about something because that's kind of lazy. I really couldn't think of anything to talk about that we haven't really already talked about. Like, for example, we talk about politics all the time, right? Right now, we got the Democrats in office in every way, shape, and form. They are in control of Congress, I guess, to a large degree. And we could talk about Joe Biden. He's not going to give Black people anything. But it's like, what's new, right? What's new? Joe Biden is not going to do anything for Black people specifically. And we're not going to make them as a whole. We're going to continue, not us on here, but I'm just saying in general, we as Black people, we're not going to make him. And we do have the ability to make him and the Democrats do something for us. But we're not interested in doing that, which is why they keep giving us more symbolism. They're giving us holidays and, a whole bunch of other nonsense.
George Floyd statues. And
yeah, that somebody painted on, Not that it's funny, but, then I'm even hearing Al Sharpton talking about why haven't they given us Pastor George Floyd bill. And it was like, dude, you the main one up there catching the crumbs of falling butter biscuits. So there is, yes, we can talk about Othal Wallace. They have caught him for what I understand. So yes, throw stuff in. Yes, that's a good topic too, April. So see, I don't need to come up with nothing. You guys got some things we can talk about. That's actually a really good topic, April and Aaron. So anyway, that's why I said I have nothing. I'm just kind of drained a little bit of talking about the same old thing. And I think you guys probably are too. We just need to come up with an action plan as to what we're actually going to do in order to move the ball forward for us as Black people. And so before I give it over to Donovan, I'm going to go ahead and start reading you guys' comments, and then we're going to discuss whatever you guys throw in the comment section. Donovan, you have anything? Or do you have nothing either?
Well, I'm the politics man, so that's my gimmick, and that's what I do. I throw the facts out there and piss people off. That's how I make my day. It makes me feel good. But wow, a lot of stuff that's going on. And again, I kind of sympathize with you, and I'm sure a lot of people sympathize because everybody's heard the same story on different panels, on different shows, right? So we know what's going on, but yet we still let the same people remain in power doing what they do. Nancy Pelosi, what's a Cinnabon head, and all these other folks. I mean, they're in there taking the pictures and they're doing all the good stuff, and we just go, it's like we love to complain, and yet we do nothing about it. And we are going into political season. And so here's what I want to say in regard to that. Now, we've given you all of this information for the last couple of years. Joe Biden has been in there about 200 days now. I don't know if he's been in there 200 days now. He's shown you what he's about and what he's going to do. They can't even give us a vote on reparations. They can't even give us reparations, much less a vote. But they can pull $6 trillion out of their ass to give to everybody. Because you got to remember, 8% of ADOS or non-fundamental blacks or whatever you want to call us that are descendants of slaves, we're only 8% of the population, but they found money to give to everybody, mostly people who already have money. And for the Democrats to stay in power, they need your vote. So let's see what you guys are going to do about all of this. Because remember, it wasn't the Congressional Black Caucus that got the verdict in the Chauvin trial. That wasn't the CBC. That was you taken to the streets and saying enough is enough. That's who got that verdict. All these people that are sitting up there in positions of power are sitting there twiddling their thumbs, doing absolutely nothing, and giving you symbolism and giving you shit you didn't ask for. When you guys are the ones actually doing the work, it's you guys are the ones that are getting shot out. They can't even give you qualified immunity. They can't even give you a protected status. But yet you let people who migrated here from their home countries within the last 30 years, they become a protected class. First try, just like that. So we're going to see in this election cycle, what are you guys going to do about it?
Most definitely. And so, yeah, so I don't want to come off as I don't care. I don't want you guys to think that. I do care. Just this week has been kind of rough for me mentally, just dealing with a lot of us. I'll just be nice, just a lot of us. And so it's been a very mentally draining, which is why I was like, we just open it up and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about today. So let me go ahead and get into the comments before we get too behind. And so what's happening? Fight for Black. How you doing? It says, hey, Queen Demetria, hope your Sunday is a relaxing one. Peace and God's power to you, Queen. Thank you so much. I needed that. And yes, it is so far, no frills. It's really relaxing. Hello, Georgia Rose. How you doing? And Leather and Luxury Cars. What's up? And again, if you guys are in, I don't know if there's watch parties anymore on Facebook, another room seeing this live, if you want to click the link and come over here and put your comment in, I would love to read it. What's happening, Tanaya? And yes, April. So let's go ahead and start with yours. Okay. So and I'll put this up here. So April says, DMX girlfriend gets zilch is a good appetizer. So we're going to start with that. So what happened was, RIP to DMX, right? You guys know DMX passed away a couple of months ago. And his girlfriend, I guess his fiance together about 8 years or so, she was battling it out against his family, I guess, to control his estate. And the judge told her no. Now, not only was she his fiance, she has his child. And so basically she's entitled to nothing. Okay. She's entitled to nothing. And she spent all those years with him. And I would just think that he would want his fiance and his child. I know he's got a lot of kids, but I would think he would, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I would think he wouldn't want her to be penniless. But it really speaks to doing things decently and in order. I swear I'm not going to give you guys a sermon, but it decently in order, because I know a lot of times people say, well, we don't need to get married, and people stay fiancés for 10, 50, 11 years, and never think you're going to need to get married. Well, the one good thing about being married is rights and paperwork and legality. When you are married to somebody and God forbid they die, you are the next of kin. So she, being his fiance, even though they shared a life together for 8 or so years, she's not the next of kin. Her son, or whatever, I think she has a son. Her son is the next of kin and all of his children, but she is not. And so she has to get what's left over. Now, he has adult children that his estate will go to, and so they get to decide where that money goes. And unfortunately, she's left out in the wind. And so I'm going to say, for men and women, this is not really just for women. It's for men and for people who are in a relationship with somebody and you guys have something together, where it's a house, cars, something, you built something together, get it in writing. Even if it's not a marriage certificate, get a living will, a living trust, or something that says that if I die, I want my fiance or my girlfriend or whoever it is to have what I'm going to leave behind, because now there's no more fight. The judge told her no, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because if you're doing it by the law, it goes to the next of kin. And so I would just think, and this is not an admonishment to her, but you're married to somebody who may or may not have some issues, at least say, hey, baby, I know I've been your fiance for 15 years, but we need to go about this the right way, because God forbid something happens to you, or even if something happens to me, I'm going to be out. I'm going to have to get out of the house if it's not in my name. I'm going to have to give up these cars if it's not in my name. And then, at the very least, have some life insurance. If you don't want to get married and you've been with somebody for a long time, leave that person as the sole beneficiary of your life insurance policy. So that way they will have something. So now she has no money and her child is not 18. He can't get the money. Maybe, they'll leave her as the executor of his money, but he'll have to be 18 until he gets the money. So now.
And as we know, by the time he gets 18, that'll all be spent.
Well, that legally they can't spend it. It's an account for him.
No. We know legally it can't be spent, but guess what? It usually is.
But usually they put it up in a trust. Like, they have ways for people not to trick off the money, because unfortunately that has happened to a lot of people. The money, by the time, Gary Coleman is a great example. Not that it's somebody died, but all that money he worked for. His parents spent it all, and when he turned 18, there wasn't a dime left out of all that work he had. And so, it just protect yourself. And if that person does not want to at least say, hey, let me put something in writing for you in case I die, then tell them the kid rocks. That ain't the one for you if they wouldn't at least protect you against the loss of their life. That's not who you're supposed to be with, because they don't see you as valuable enough to make sure you're okay if they die.
Now, a good example of that is George Floyd himself. Look at all the people that got their hands in the cookie jar of his family members right now. The only people that should be of any consequence should be his children. That's it, his children. And he has a little daughter. I think that's the youngest one he has, the one daughter. She's the only one that should matter, other than, if he has, I think he has adult kids as well. And look at how the sea urchins have come up from the bottom of the sea to put their hands in the cookie jar. And that happens so many times within our community. That's why ladies, especially our sisters, our Black ladies, all of this bullshit about you don't need no man, you don't need this, you don't need that. There is benefits in being married, and men too. There are benefits in being married, period. If I was married right now, do you know that my spouse would be able to go to school and all kinds of shit free because I was in the military? But I'm not married. My vet rep tells me all the time, do you know, Donovan, if you died right now, all your benefits would die with you. So there's benefits to getting married, and we got to stop telling our daughters and our nieces to, you don't need no man and marriage is a bad thing. No, you don't that's ridiculous to be a fiance for over 12 years. And like you said, Demetra, if you are going to be with a man that doesn't want to marry you, but you're kicking out these kids for him, make sure you get life insurance, because how many times do we got that dude that's in the streets, he gets shot down, you got 2 or 3 kids for him, plus the 2 or 3 baby mamas, and the shit is held up in probate, and then the mama comes in and the brother, and everybody's getting all of this insurance, and it's really like $10,000. They're fighting over $10,000, and and there's really nothing to it. So you got to look out for your babies and your interests.
No, absolutely, yeah. If it's in writing, there's no fighting. Just remember that if it's in writing, there's no fighting, and you get what's due you. And I think something is due his fiance, and I think if these people were decent, they wouldn't just leave her out there in the cold with nothing. But it's a lesson that unfortunately we keep seeing repeated over and over again. Now, Othal Wallace is also known as Ozone, who also, as the media keeps trying to say, he was a ex-member of the NFAC. You guys know the Not Fucking Around Coalition with Grandmaster Jay. And they caught him. I think it was, a day ago or so in Georgia. It was a wooded area, which they're saying belonged to the NFAC. It was a paramilitary training situation, is what they're trying to say. Found him in a treehouse. This is what they're saying. With a bunch of arsenal and stuff. And, he was saying, this is what they're saying. He was saying stuff like, who I am. You're going to have to come get me and all that. Needless to say, they took him alive. But, you know, there's so many questions that need to be answered as to why he was even pulled over in the first place. We've all seen, well, I didn't see it. I read the transcripts of the video, and it sounds like the officer, you know, didn't have a good reason to pull him over. And he kept on touching him on the shoulder, sit down, sit down, sit down. And, you know, I got, but
well, he had a good reason. He was black. That's their reason.
Well, we talking about a legitimate reason. You know, and
that's what the 1994 crime bill does. It incentivizes police
right, but
to
we
harass and hunt black people.
Well, stop and frisk per se is supposed to be illegal. So it really was no good reason for him to be pulled over, no justifiable reason. And so it sounds like it got, you know, a little back and forth. And, you know, the officer got shot in the head, and they said that he is recovering. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what pans out. But there's a lot of things that need to be answered. Why you keep, you know, messing with black people, pulling black people over needlessly. You know, it was probably going to turn into something that it wasn't originally supposed to be, because that's what a lot of police officers do. They harass black people for no absolute reason, and then it turns into somebody being killed. But I think, you know, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it depends on how you look at it. We're coming to a day and age where, you know, black people are just like, hey, you know what it is, it's do or die. You know, I'd rather go out fighting than, you know, my family read about me, you know, having somebody's knee on my neck for damn near 10 minutes. So,
and notice that the qualified immunity and the police argument is, oh, they're shooting. You know, look, the helpless police. These guys are armed to the teeth with military weapons, and they're the victims. You guys see the narrative that they're portraying? Oh, they're just shooting police out there. Well, why? Like you said, why did you stop him?
Yep, that's a good question. Hey, the Pioneer, how you doing? And Fight for Black, he says, I would love to talk about our rising prominence. In order to do that, I wish to discuss how we will push out these fake black folks signing off on symbolism instead of empowerment. Well, one good way is to vote them out. Vote them out and stop voting them in. Like, they need to be, their records and their intention need to be ran over with a fine-tooth comb, and we figure out, you know, if that's somebody we want to vote for. But as of now, and, you know, 30, 40, 50 years back, we've been voting for symbolism. We've been voting for people who continuously show us that they're not going to do anything for us, that they're going to continue to lie and give us a little bit of, you know, some statues or a holiday and, you know, that kind of stuff. So the main thing is to stop putting them in power in the first place.
Yeah, Fight for Black. Do you know how many people came for me because I actually showed John Lewis's record from the time that he joined Congress up until the time he died? And what I didn't understand about it was, where was the lie? All I did was say, he hasn't done anything for black people. And our people were just defending John Lewis. It's like, you're defending nothing. Forget his civil rights record. We're not talking about it. We're talking about his social rights. Forget that stuff, what he did politically. He didn't do anything. And they came for me and they kept, you know, trying to defend this dude. And it's like, hey, don't argue with me, argue with the man. The proof is right there in the pudding, and that's what we got to do. It's very simple. You look at their record, they've been in there for 10, 15, 30, 40 years, and you say, okay, where in this record specifically have you done for black people? Specifically for black people. I showed where John Lewis was for the Dreamers, he was for illegals, he was for, you know, the Jews, all this other stuff, but nowhere in his 30-something year congressional record did I find anything specifically for black people. And people came at me for that.
Absolutely. And the Pioneer. And hello to everybody that's come on here so far that I've seen so far. Hello and welcome, and thank you for being here. And the Pioneer says, I'll give you a great action plan for progress. Intelligent, decent black folks need to unite with themselves, build our own communities, and keep away from the negative element holding our people back, period. That's what my Marcus Garvey told us to do. Leave them behind. We got business to take care of. Let's get with and form a mastermind alliance and get with those who are on the same page, and let's build something. It's time for us. And I think really that's kind of where I don't want to say I'm frustrated. Well, I am a little bit, but that's kind of where I'm just like, I got nothing, you know, because we, all of us, keep saying the same thing. And I think we're on the same page. We just need to go about the business of building an action plan and executing it, right? So absolutely. And Fight for Black, it says, King Donovan, I say hashtag no Biden /Harris for 2024. Almost definitely. They shouldn't have had it this time. So, but definitely don't vote for them next time. And April says, absolutely nothing. You ain't never lied. And Ashanti, how you doing? He says, no disrespect to DMX, but in my opinion, he wasn't about his business. No, he wasn't. I mean, it's not disrespect. It's just the truth. You leave your fiance and your kid's mom out there with no repercussions, or I mean, not a repercussion, but no ways of taking care of herself, especially if, she wasn't working and, she relied on you. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not disrespect. It's the truth.
Well, how many entertainers that come from the hood or these ghettos that are controlled by Democrats have the same story right here on the West Coast? Eazy-E. He had adult children outside of Tamika. Tamika made sure her people were taken care of and her kids that she had with them were taken care of. But his other children, they didn't get nothing. I mean, and this is a constant thing within our community of entertainers and athletes. It's a constant thing.
No, absolutely. And let's see here. Travis, how you doing? He says, when my father passed, 2 of his siblings took almost all of his property. Black people need to get better at minding our business. It's a fact. We want to fight over the things that are left behind instead of saying, okay, listen, how can we get together and build onto it and continue the legacy? Your father, I'm sure he worked very hard for what he had, and then people want to come and fight over it and probably sell it, and so they can get the money, but then the property's gone, the legacy is gone. They probably gonna trick the money off in the Bahamas and buying cars and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to depreciate in value. And so we need to get better at forming a game plan. How do we continue the legacy of our loved one that's blood, sweat, and tears is in the things that they own or owned, right? And April, you say Dred Scott versus Stanford. Tell us why reparations is far-fetched. And unfortunately, I'm not completely familiar with that particular part of it. Give me a moment. And give me a moment. And hey, Sunlight, how you doing? And April says, didn't even think to get a life insurance policy. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, get a life insurance. But see, you know what? I'm telling you, I used to be a life insurance agent, and the conversations that I've had, especially with our people, it's sad. It's sad. I've heard, it's a bill. I don't want to make them rich. Oh, I ain't got that kind of. I've heard it all. She gonna move in another man in my house. It's like, what, you gonna come back as a ghost and kick them out? Like, why would you care? But
and then when the worst thing happens, they're out there on the corner talking about a car wash. They can't even go to the church because there's no money in the benevolent fund. So it's just sad. I mean. And then they get the policies are $10,000. Now that might have $10,000 was a lot of money in 1960. $10,000 ain't going to cover much of anything in the modern age. People say, "Well, I'll just get them cremated." Cremation here in California is what, I think $14,000.
Yes, about just as much. And April, yes. So it has come back to my memory. You talk about us not being considered fully a citizen. That was a Dred Scott decision. The sample part threw me off. My brain is a little slow, but forgive me. No.
Wait, let me correct you, Brett. We're not a citizen based on the Constitution of 2/3. That's the Constitution, and they had, and they compromised with that, all like that. The Dred Scott decision.
No rights that any man should respect.
Yeah, a white man has to respect, and that's the premise that they're going off right now.
Right. Yeah. That's what I meant. Amanda, what's going on? He says, let's get married. I guess she's talking to you. And Sunlight says, Donovan agree 100%. No other race plays that game. And the Pioneer says the DMX girlfriend situation is a good example of our people going in circles. Most people over 30 with good sense already know marriage is a legal contract for financial benefits. It's common sense. Yeah. I mean, it really is. It's that piece of paper that says, honey, if you die, I don't have to fight your barracuda ass relatives over your, 1979 Cadillac. It's mine. I don't have to, you could take somebody to court. You could sue for anything, right? But that don't mean you're going to get it. Because and if we go to court, the judge is going to look at the document and say, well, that's his wife. That's her. That was her husband. It was left to her. or even if it wasn't left, that was their thing because they have a contract that binds them together as one, and so that was their thing. But yeah, it is.
And why do you think LGBTQ fought so hard to get the right to marry each other? Because that was happening to a lot of them. And I'm not, telling you the agenda, but think about why they were doing that. You live with this loved one for so long, then one of you guys pass. Now, let's say you're gay. They had no rights to any of the property and stuff. And that's one of the reasons why they stayed on code and made sure they got legislation to recognize same-sex marriages. But only in our community do we say, girl, you don't need no man. And sisters, we need each other. There's no doubt about that. But you know what? We are the only group of people that I have ever heard that say, we don't need no man. The women in the community. We're the only group that says that.
And let's see here. And Eli, how you doing? He says, I am not going to get shot for no reason, probably because I am light-skinned. Yeah, that helps. If you're light-skinned and you can pass, that you got one on your side, but when they, figure it out, it's like, yeah, I know what you meant by cops. And April says, earn your own cash, ladies and gentlemen. That is certain, and life insurance policy can help cut through the hogwash. Yeah. Keep your affairs in order. Don't be out there where it's like, oh my God, he left me nothing. But like, shit, I was skimming off the top. I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, like, don't leave yourself with nothing. It's just not smart to say, oh, well, he covered everything. Every money, or her, if that's your thing, every dime that came in the house, it was because of him, and I didn't control anything, and I don't have it. Yeah, come on, man. And then again, if you with somebody, especially if you marry, insist that they get their life insured in case something happens to them, then you can carry on, right? Because a lot of times too, this is another thing. A lot of people, and I found this when I was doing life insurance, want to argue with his mama. Because the mama done had life insurance on him since he was 6 months old. Something happened to him as an adult when he's with his spouse, fiance, girlfriend, whoever, and they didn't have the sense to cover their man. Find out that the mama got the insurance, and they want to fight with the mama. Well, we was married, and I should have. I've insured him since he was born. You married him. You should have got a separate life insurance policy on your man. That is a policy on my son. Now, of course, I'm bury him, whatever, do what right by his body. But as far as taking you off some cash, you should have been responsible.
And let's reverse that. How many of us that are able-bodied children, knowing our parents has no insurance on them because maybe the parents made bad decisions, we aren't putting insurance on our parents when we possibly can. And I've seen that happen in our community too many times. It's like, well, dad just died. Okay. Or, big mama just died. Okay. Who's got the insurance? Oh, nobody has insurance. This woman has 7 kids. Nobody put insurance on her.
Yeah. Make sure your parents are insured. Most definitely. And that goes for anybody that you'll bear the burden of if something happens to them. Your child, especially, put some insurance on your kids. You can get your kids insured at 10 days old. In most places, states 10 days old, the policy can be put on a newborn baby. So there really is no excuse, right? And Tania, how you doing? It says, Othal, aka Ozone, is a big advocate for Black Americans practicing their Second Amendment rights. So something is fishy about the story. I believe he was targeted. Yeah, I believe it too. I don't think it was just, you're just, I'm just going to stop you. It's way more to the story. It's got to be. And fight for Black. You say, I can't imagine Donovan. John Lewis did nothing but brag about Selma. Yeah, that's, and good trouble.
Yeah, a good trouble on that bridge. I got my ass beat on that bridge. And he went down there every year. Every year.
And April says, you deserve a loving wife, Donovan. I'm taking the highest bidder. I'm taking the highest bidder, okay? Let's start out with $5.
Speaking of which, I went to this winery yesterday with Demetra's niece, and man, them sisters were dressed in those sundresses, looking beautiful. Of course, the white chicks were doing their thing too, because the white people turn up when they're in their environment. And man, them sisters were looking gorgeous. I'm talking about the sundresses, the hats. Y'all were just doing it. So,
all right now, but yes, my bidding is starting at $5. $5. We're having a flash sale. And Fight for Black says, where is the black legislation? Right. I mean, we got the Congressional Black Caucus. Ain't that's what they supposed to be doing? Legislating for black people?
No. Again, that's a misnomer. The Congressional Black Caucus is for everybody. They do not represent black people. And I clarified that in my podcast. But if you go to the Hispanics and the Asian website, they specifically do legislation for their people, nobody else. They don't say everybody. They don't say any of that. Only the black folks do that.
Yeah, well, they need to go on to take black up out their name. That's what they need to do. And Cortez, how you doing? And hello to everybody so far that I put your name up. Cortez says, I agree. Leave the ones behind that aren't on board with the black agenda. Yeah, bye. See you later. Go do what you do, you know. And Daka, I hope I said, that's it right, Donovan?
Yep.
Daka.
Yep. Daka from Panama.
She says, what's good, little brother?
Yes, that's my sister from another mister. We go back to high school too. So
all right.
Seventh grade. We go back to 7th grade. Yikes.
Wow, y'all. Oh, I'm just kidding. And Tanaya says, Demetri and Donovan, I have a suggestion. Let's move on from George Floyd. Chauvin is doing time for the murder. There are others that need our attention. I'm sick of the press conferences. Yes, and another thing too is I'm actually going to do a story on it tomorrow. George Floyd's brother, Philonis.
No, Philonis, whatever.
Talking about it's not just black lives that matter, all lives matter. And he said it a couple of times. I'm like,
bullshit.
I'm just telling you what he said. And he said this after the sentencing and all that. And I'm like, and he said it once before. And I'm like, are we that just dupable, if that's a word, that we're just like we're not hearing these things? All lives matter. Was your brother all, or was he black when that man had a knee to his neck?
See, once they got the money, the whole thing changed. Their appearance changed up. Everything changed up. They didn't. I mean, and I hate to say this, but the way I look at it, it's like, and it's sad for us as black people. Isn't it sad that we are worth more dead than we are alive? But you know, that's our thing. But to me, looking at what transpired from the time that their brother got killed to where they are now, their whole vernacular has changed. Their whole appearance has changed. I mean, when he first started appearing, he didn't look like he had two nickels to rub together. Now he's in 3-piece suits. They're rolling up in a Mercedes. They're taking pictures with all these other people. It wasn't Black Lives Matter from the beginning. Now it's All Lives Matter. That's bullshit. All lives, no, it's Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, he's really blatant about it, you know, and Ben Crump was standing right there with him when he said it. It was like, okay. And Cortez, you said, same with Little Dirk. Who the heck is Little Dirk? And the Pioneer said, sis, you and Donovan are smart. You have nothing to talk about because you're tired of talking and ready for progress. You're probably frustrated at all the silly behavior of so many of our people. That's exactly what it is. This is like, you can only talk about the same thing so long before it's like, okay, what next? Because I'm at the what next. I've been at the what next, right? And I know you guys are at the what next too. It's just sometimes, you know, the detractors, if you will, get into the conversation and it's like, okay, you know. So anyway, and then Cortez says, or a fish fry. And Chocolate Girl, he says, Donovan, you are right. And Marty, what's going on with you? Says, greetings, Demetri and Donovan. I just got out of the shower and used castor oil mixed with sandalwood. Sandalwood is actually one of my favorite scents. And frankincense, smelling awesome to meet you. I love it in the hair and on the skin. All right.
Wait. We're trying to have an adult conversation here. No. I mean, I'm glad you got all that going.
Yes, nice and oily and stuff. Glad you're here. I thought his birthday was over, Marty. He says, happy birthday again, Donovan. That's the last time I got. Okay, we're going to hold you to it. The last time I got to wish you happy birthday for this month. I hope you enjoyed yourself. You are my perfect, honest brown sugar. Wow. Says, thank you both, real always. I'm telling y'all, $5 starting is the bid to the highest bidder. Okay, there is no cap. But the $5 is, you know, I think that's reasonable, right?
Reasonable. And we even take green stamps.
He would take green stamps. I want mine some green dollars, okay? I even take Dogecoin or Bitcoin, whatever, as long as I can spend it. Hey, Eric, how you doing? And LL, what's up with you? Says, if it doesn't Matter if you're light skinned, you don't get a pass, right? Yeah. You mean you might be light enough to fool them initially, but then when they get up on you, like your nostrils is kind of wide for a white man. So yeah, they don't care. And let's see here. And Donovan says George Floyd's family coming out of the woodworks. If they cared about him, why did he have to move to Minnesota? Cousins doing interviews, etc. Well, I want to say this. We don't know why exactly. I guess he wasn't doing too well. But at the end of the day, George Floyd was a grown man. I ain't got to take care of you. I mean, I'm sure he's had his issues, We don't really know what's going on, but it wasn't like he was a child. Maybe they were sick of him. I don't know, And I don't want to demonize George Floyd. It's not right to do, but we don't know the whole story. Maybe they was like, yeah, maybe you need to go get your life together and then you come on back when you, whatever, So I'm just saying. And Morgan says cremation in Michigan runs about, right about 1,000 to 2,000. And those that do it, that's how there's they are excessively cheap, but use the lame excuse why I put money in the ground just to burn. That's really cheap, but see, the thing is, it depends on where you are, but that doesn't account for moving the body. When my mom passed, every time we moved the body, they wanted $350. Move her from the house, $350 because she passed away in my sister's house, $350, take it to the, the morgue, and then move her from there to the home. And every time they moved her, $350. So yeah, on the surface, that cremation might be 1,000 or 2,000, but that's probably just to will your loved one in the oven. But that don't account for all the other things that they have.
Yeah, the urn, the ceremony. I'm sure you want a little ceremony. When my aunt passed and she got cremated, we had a ceremony. We had came up to about $14,000, and it wasn't like extravagant. It was just like a family gathering, and it was nice, but it just wasn't. It wasn't cheap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all do know Donovan's birthday has been over with for almost 2 months, right? Unless this is his birthday year, then we can do it every day. If Fight for Black says King Donovan, the girl, you don't need no man, quote unquote, rhetoric was actually started by white feminists coercing the black woman to push to get the black man out of the home syndrome. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We got feminism from white women, and we were just a body count to them. They never really cared about our plight. It was like, come over here, gal, and help us with our stuff. And we've been falling for the nonsense ever since.
Yeah, and that's the thing, where it started and stuff. The point is, look at how many of our sisters fell for it and are still repeating the rhetoric. That's the problem.
Yep. Jeffrey, how's Africa going? I know that's where you are.
Yes, I saw him. I was so mad. Woo!
Well, enjoy yourself. Continue putting up those pictures. We love every minute of it. And Moni says, Donovan is all mine, hands off, coming to Michigan and live well in Royal Oaks. My perfect brown sugar always. Demetra, I hope you use lots of castor oil on the skin. It's hydrating. Yes, I use a lot of oil, but $5, Moni. You got $5. That's the starting bid, ladies. $5, $5. Going once, going twice. I'm going to hold the auction until the end. See who's got the most money. Donovan is on I don't call the auction block like he's a slave, unless y'all want him to be your love slave. I don't know. That's on y'all. And LL says, what is the age group? The age group for what? Because we be talking and, I forgot. Let me get to these comments. And Lionel says, and how you doing, by the way? We don't have strong black politicians representing us. No, not at all.
We never did. Name me a strong black politician we've ever had other than Alan Clayton Powell.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, and a few other ones, but it's those days is long gone, right? And Jeffrey says we got Juneteenth in the same month as Pride Month. Watch they take over Juneteenth, right? And it wasn't supposed to be Black History, Black Music Month as well. It's supposed to be June. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. And April says I got $100 on Donovan. He's 20 years my senior. Okay. $100 is the bid now.
Hey, wait, she's 20 years. Wait, so what? That means she's in her early 30s. Oh yeah, I'll give me a little tenderoni. I'll work with the
$100, ladies. That's where the bid is for the recovering Democrat. $100. What say you? And Eric says Asians at it again, pulled a rifle on a patron at a laundromat with her family in Nashville. Damn. But they'll protect the class now, so I guess that means they can just go, all out and do what they want to do to people now because they're a protected class,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, when I was at that winery, I had never seen that many Asians at the winery before in the time that I would go. They were in there like they owned the joint, and they dared people to, like tell them something. It was just, I mean, they were turning up, of course, but you know what I mean? They were just like, hey, we about that life. We were just looking like, wow, man.
You didn't say nothing, did you? You say not a word. And Honeydew, and I'm glad to see you came on back. You said colorism is a good topic. I'm light, and I hate the hate I receive or preconceived notions. Whites automatically think I'm their friend, but my problem comes more from dark-skinned people and not being Black first. You know what? That is a problem, and it is a huge problem within our community. And I've heard that a lot from light-skinned people or mixed people, that they face a lot of criticism from our people. You ain't Black enough. Back then, remember, we weren't there. They did the brown paper bag test, and if you was darker than the paper brown bag, then there was something wrong with you. Don't bring no Black woman home. Don't have no kids with no dark-skinned man. But now it's like you ain't Black enough. And I'm like, who are you or anybody to decide who is Black enough? That is so silly. We just like pick up the slave master's ways and we just continue on with it. And we continue the venomous, the awfulness that goes with it. You ain't Black enough. You ain't Black. I'm like, how the hell we get to the point where we telling Black people they ain't Black? That is just so, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, y'all. Like, those are the conversations I'm just not willing to have with people anymore on just the silliness, right? And LL says, oh God, no, he didn't say that. I don't know what that is. And Anais, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, we are too inclusive as a people. Yeah, we bring everybody to the cookout. Everybody gets to come. They do a good, but Black band's good. Ooh, they got to come to the cookout. Everybody gets to come to the cookout, but we can't even get to the front door of most of their events.
Yeah. Oh, you let a white rapper into the genre of rap, and all of a sudden he's the best rapper that has ever happened in God's life. It's like, give me a break. Give me a freaking break.
Yep. And Moni, and he says, here in Michigan, depending on where you live, the cost of living is not high at all. A lot of the police, if you are in the city of Warren, Dearborn, Washtenaw County, that's where you may face racism. And then your comment cut off. Okay. And Cortez says he's a rapper from Chicago that has a child that he ain't taking care of. Lord have mercy. Like, you're a rapper, and I the name sounds familiar now. I'm assuming he's got a little bit of money. Why you ain't taking care of your child? Take care of your child. Just take care of your child. It's silly. And you out there probably traveling the world, big up and everything but your baby. It's crazy. And Moni says, yes, so you're replying to Pioneer. And then Latanya, what's going on? You says, hello, my peeps, truth to power. Yes, indeed. Okay, so yeah, that's what you're saying. Cortez, a little dirt. And April says, why are copper colored people who die in police encounters considered a civil rights issue, but not human rights? Well, you hit the nail on the head. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then, Malcolm X, who's a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, says we cannot have civil rights until we have human rights. If you're not thought of as a human, how the hell are you going to have civil rights? But people don't know the difference. They talking about, we need civil rights. First, you need to be thought of as a human that deserves human civil rights. We were brought over here as cargo. In the first place, you weren't thought of as a human. You were thought of as a thing, property. So, yeah, no, absolutely.
And the thing is, in world politics, by saying it's a civil rights issue, it keeps the jurisdiction within the United States. That's why we can't go to Africa, even though America being the big boys, we go over there and tell people how to live their lives. But when they come and try to tell us, it's like, no, this is a civil rights issue, so you can't help these Negroes over here. We don't want to hear what you got to say. We have to get politicians to write legislation to the World Court and then make it a human rights issue, even though the World Court has already ruled that some of the things going on in the United States against Black people is a human rights effort. But guess what? Who controls the World Court? Oh, that's right, the United States.
Right. And yes, so Moni, you said that they caught the guy that stole the man's chain, the one that bought his chain from the lotto money, and they're looking for a chain. I mean, I'm thinking if he pawned it, that pawn shop should know damn well that y'all heard about that chain on somebody's news. So, I'm sure they won't have a hard time finding it, but just, you know, what an awful thing. You can't have what you want without somebody taking it from you. And Don, what's going on with you? You said Shalom D&D. Funny how 2 Asian women can get a hate crime law with a check and a czar. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's because they know Asians got their stuff together. You know, Asians will shut them down. They will. They'll organize on their ass.
Yeah, and notice when Black people are shot, how many Asians have you heard step up and talk about, oh my gosh, you know, Black Lives Matter, or they speak in our behalf? None of them, none of their politicians, none of their entertainers. But let Asian get hit in the head. Oh my gosh, these Black people are they're just roving packs of wolves, and they just talk really, really bad about us. But this is how they roll. You know? Well,
you know, and I'm gonna say this, I'm not mad at the Asians for that. They doing what they supposed to be doing. They caring about themselves first. Like, we run around saying Black first. I'm not saying us, but I'm just saying overall, we say Black first, right? But we don't act Black first. But Asians act Asian first. Hispanics act Hispanics first, and so on and so forth. They're doing it right. We're the only group of people that say everybody else first, and then we might get some leftovers, right? So if we would start really, truly walking in Black first, then we too would have stuff. But as long as we keep giving away the farm to everybody else, or as someone said, including everybody else, then we're not going to get anything. But the Asians are doing what they're supposed to do. We're going to make sure we get ours first.
Yeah, well, here's the good thing. Everybody's been getting theirs. Now it's like, okay, everybody got what they wanted. Now it's Black people's turn. What about us?
Well, I mean, when you get in the back of the line continuously, by the time you get to the front, it might not be nothing left.
Exactly. But that's the funny thing with this administration, the Biden administration. Everybody got what they needed. LGBTQ illegals. Everybody got whatever it is they wanted. Now Black folks are sitting here saying, okay, all the excuses are done now. What you gonna do with us?
Nothing.
Exactly. And we sit there and let them get away with it.
The Pioneer says, what is next is finally having a conversation over good news, like if Kanye West built a thriving apartment complex on his Wyoming compound with a theme park. Yeah, if you guys really, and I know you guys probably do, really listen to Kanye, he is not what people in the media are trying to tell y'all he's crazy. I mean, he might have some issues. We all do, but he's really a genius. You know, he really does speak on behalf of Black empowerment. If we would really just truly take a moment to listen, you know, besides, he was hanging out with Trump.
I don't listen to no man that mess with the Kardashian. You crazy if you mess with them. No. All right.
Hey, Charlie says, happy birthday, Donovan. And Cortez says, I want to get cremated. I don't want a funeral. I'd rather have a memorial instead. I told my daughter, you know, because that's my next of kin right now. Something happened to me, roll me off of the nearest something and keep it pushing. Like, why would I care, right? And I'm gonna say, listen, okay, y'all. Now that I'm dead, I want Elder Bars to sing at my funeral. You know, and I want to make sure that the food is all vegan, and make sure that motherfucker don't get nothing. I mean, like I'm not gonna be here, so I don't care what you do about my.
How many of you guys remember when Elizabeth Taylor died? She insisted that she be late for her own funeral, and it actually happened. That was the only thing she wanted.
I'm like, okay, we'll make sure you're late. Be there early as a mug. Moni says, my grandmother kept the policy on herself as well as her children up until they got it to be 18 years old of age. And on a few of the grandchildren past 18, luckily it came in handy because when my cousin died, insure your kids. Insure everybody that you can, you know. You got grandkids and their parents are too stupid. Get some insurance on your grandkids, but then, you know, then the parents be like, I don't want you to insure my kids. And oh my God, and God forbid something happened to them. Your mama, daddy, I need some money. Well, remember when I was trying to insure the baby and you told me now, all of that?
I had a friend that had 7 children, and, you know, the mother's older now, whatever. And, you know, I knew the brothers and sisters and stuff, and they would be like, oh yeah, you know, we can't come together to get a policy for our parent, right? I said, well, why don't you just get $2,000 a policy, you get 2,000 or what, 5,000, you get 5,000. If it's a money issue, you guys all, and then it all goes to your parent. And you 7 times 5, that's $35,000 right there. We just don't think outside the box. I just don't get it. It's like they want one person to take the whole burden. It's like, no, doesn't make sense.
And let's see here. Honeydew, you says Donovan never came to get his birthday present, so I may have to give it to someone else.
No, don't give nobody else. Send me the address. I'll be on the next plane smoking.
The bid is still at $100, ladies. $100. What we talking about? And Travis said Cynthia McKinney was a fearless politician. I've heard her name, but I'm not really too familiar with her politics, but I'd love to look into her. Moni says, I've been looking into some burial grounds that's in Royal Oaks, and I'm surprised at how reasonable they are that I think I'd like to pay for myself one outright in about another year. Remember, too, that burial plots are just the plots. You still have to pay to open and close the ground. You still have to pay for the morgue and everything that goes with it. And a lot of times, unfortunately, they being these companies that sell burial plots, they prey upon Black people. They prey upon our community, and they sell us these burial plots as though they're insurance policies. They're not insurance policies. Again, when I was selling life insurance, I'm not anymore. I just want to say that. But when I was selling life insurance policies, I talked to so many of our people. Oh, I'm good. I bought me a plot right out in such and such. Oh, yeah. Do you mind if I see, the policy or the paperwork to the plot? Well, ma'am, this is just a hole in the ground, right? Well, that's not what they told me. So I point to it and be like, you also got to pay if you want to open. Like my mom, when she passed, it was $1,600 to open it and $1,600 to close it. A lot of people don't know that. They get sold these burial plots, and it's just the ground. It's just the space. It's not the casket. There's nothing else to go with it. And you guys see how much caskets cost. They a lot. So just something to think about. And Eli says, I feel the same. I am mixed, and my Black friends are like, you're not Black. And it's like, who the utterly F? I'm trying to stop cussing at least on a Sunday. Monday is a different story. Who the utterly F is anybody to tell you what you are? I mean, if you really okay, let me check. Let me just drop it like this, okay? If anybody is claiming to be, as they say, foundational Black American, this American descendant of slave, otherwise known as ADOS, you ain't fully Black either. More than likely, Massa done got up in your great-great-great-great-grandmama and them too. So ain't nobody running around here fully Black with the blood of Mansa Musa, Mandingo, and ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you probably not ADOS. So it's like, that's kind of why I'm frustrated too, because that's the kind of stuff too that holds us back. Okay, so if you're saying, and I'm just saying hypothetically, I'm not fully Black, but you are. What are you doing with your full Black ass? Are you saving Black people? Are you educating Black people? Do you have a plan for Black people since you're fully Black? What are you doing with all of this Blackness? You run around, saying that you are, while dogging people who are mixed. Or, for you to deem that you're not Black. See, I wouldn't even have conversations like that with people anymore, because it's just like nails to a chalkboard to me. It really is. Just the ignorance. The ignorance is just, it stinks. Anyway, Sunlight says colorism is a good topic. It is, but this is kind of what I've learned. It's very ignorant people. You're not going to change their minds. They hang on to ignorance like the glue weave of a woman's eyelashes. It just ain't gonna let go. And so those people are just kind of hard to have a conversation with, because they want to be ignorant. Because letting go of the ignorance, it makes them feel uncomfortable, to not be ignorant anymore. It's just the weirdest thing. And Eli says, it's annoying when I get mistaken as a different race. Well, just educate them. They tell them what you are. I mean, look what they do to Sean King. Oh, he's Talcum X. he's a white man. It's like, oh my God. But it be the people who's talking bad about him. They don't have a plan. They ain't saved not man Negro. They ain't put somebody's, story of a loved one that's been murdered in the forefront. They've done none of that. But yet they want to sit up and talk about he ain't black. It's like, oh my God. Hey, Jonelle, how you doing? And Marty says, my grandmother had my aunt insured and she was in, let me see. Go back. Woo. Okay, here we go. Wait, nope, that wasn't it either. My grandmother had my aunt insured and she was in a very beautiful, expensive casket that ran about $65,000. Wow. And her daughter chipped in also, but the fact that my aunt has been gone 20 years is something. Damn, 65,000 or 6,500? Because what was in it? Did it have like a Chick-fil-A in there?
Yeah, Aretha's Franklin was a totally gold, and they said that casket there was like $50,000.
I'm interested to see what it's like. And Sunlight says exactly, Eminem is not a GOAT, period. Who said that? And Anaya, she says, that's the Willie Lynch syndrome, colorism, pin the dark versus the light. Yeah, we still doing it. So stupid. It's like a waste of time at this point. It's like, I'm telling y'all, sometimes I just want to say, Scotty, are you there? Can you beam me up? Not that I'm trying to die. I'm just saying, like, is there somewhere else, I can go for a minute?
Well, we know that now that the government acknowledged that there is aliens out there that, maybe you can hitch a ride somewhere.
Okay, maybe if y'all listen, I'm just playing. I'm just having a moment right now, okay? I don't want to be like the man, the fire in the sky stuff. No. If you guys are in a different room right now, no, knowing me, I could probably go violently, get sucked through a little pinhole or something crazy. You guys are watching this on Facebook somewhere else, click on the link, come over here. I love to read your comment. And Moni says, my aunt has been dead 20 years this year with no headstone. Thank God. My grandmother had her covered, but her daughter has made over $500,000 doing hair and have not provided a headstone. Yeah, I probably should get a headstone.
Priorities.
Yeah, but a headstone.
How many of you guys remember the story of Kanika Jenkins, the young lady that was locked in the freezer? Her mom got the settlement, whatever the deal is. She doesn't have a headstone on her grave either.
Can I say this to y'all? Maybe some people don't want a headstone. I mean, the headstones are expensive. As long as you have a little map and you know where I'm at, I think that's all that matters.
Just make sure you provide a sun pump inside the casket, just in case.
Right. I saw a very nice headstone. It was that of Joe Sample out here in Houston. Big, giant piano. It's nice. I know that's morbid, but it's nice for a headstone. And Monet says, Lord have mercy. Is anyone else living in hell? It's hot here. Yeah, it's hot here too. It's very hot.
Yes, it's 103 right now here in the desert of Southern California.
Y'all can have that. And Moni says, in Michigan, it's been raining so hard. Many of our streets and blocks have been flooded. Just terrible. I hope you guys can come up out the heat to meet you and Donovan. Listen, ladies, $100 is where the bidding is at. Okay, my auction is at $100 for Donovan. And Eli says, in Connecticut, it's nice and warm and sunny. Yes, indeed. Houston, it's humid as usual. Fight for Black. You say Peter Lang was actually praised and supported by Asians when he murdered Akai Gurley in that stairwell. Yeah, he was. And they are a reason why he is not in jail. They got together and made sure they coaxed the DA who was Black. And they didn't sentence him to jail. He was found guilty, but they was like, well, we're going to go ahead and let him not go.
Yeah, but what have we been telling you guys for the last couple of years? Politicians only react to the money. Every 2 years we have an election. That's all they listen to is the people who donate to their campaigns. That is the only thing that moves them. That's why you've got special interests writing the laws. How are you guys getting mad at the rich people because they're taking advantage of tax loops that you can take advantage of if you were in that tax bracket? You know what I mean? So that's how it works.
Yeah, we just need to stop begging and start really, doing things that matter. And Jonelle says they program us to think that Black first is being racist. Now that's pimping since pimping. The right, Asians, Mexicans, whites, etc., are doing what they're supposed to do. The slave is taught against self-preservation and self-empowerment, right? I mean, I'm not mad at them. They doing it right. It's us that's doing it backwards. And the pioneer says, thank you, says, I'm not mad at the Asians for doing what they're supposed to do. They're supporting their own and pooling their resources. If they do it and we don't, whose fault is that? Facts. And hey, brother Samuel, how you doing? He says, greetings. I don't know the topic. We don't have one. We just talking. He says, however, what's going on with Dr. Boyce Watkins? Oh, Lord. Okay, he says, I thought he was a great guy. By the way, Brother Donovan, the black man and woman is the original. So when others copy the original to the degree you can copy the original determines the praise it gets. Absolutely. All right. So brother, Dr. Boyce Watkins, as you guys may or may not know, he's supposed to be a finance guy, right? He's supposed to be talking about money and, you know, black dollars and group economics. He often has Dr. Claude Anderson on his platform, but lately, I would say within the last couple of months, maybe year to this point, he's been getting to all of these little Twitter fights and doing these YouTube videos with just about different people. He started off, you know, attacking Lizzo. You guys know Lizzo, you know, she's an attention-seeking, you know, black woman that probably needs a hug or two. She's walking around, you know, showing a lot of skin, for lack of better words. And so yeah, he's, you know, gone on for months, you know, and to the point that it came to bullying her, you know, just doing the most. And so then as of lately, he's going in, he tried to jump on the Kwame Brown bandwagon. You guys know Kwame Brown used to play for the Lakers, and now he has his platform and he's, you know, talking black. Well, he's been talking black empowerment. We just now really starting to hear about it. But he jumped on the bandwagon a couple of weeks ago, kind of sneaked this in, and Kwame ate his freaking lunch, tore him up. I mean, and then now you got all these other people who are making these YouTube videos and things about Dr. Watkins because they're like, we thought you were a finance guy, but you're just a clout chaser. You're jumping on everybody's bandwagon. And it's a really a bad look for him because, you know, he's clout chasing at the detriment of black people, right? So it's not a good look. He should stick to finances before he completely loses his audience. But you know, now he's talking bad about Serena Williams. You know, he put up a picture of her and her husband talking about caption this, and it's like, come on, man, really? Is this what you did? What you're deducing your brand down to? Is talking bad about
people? He should have never married that woman. I knew trouble was coming down the pipe when he married that woman. I knew it.
Well, I ain't gonna get into all of that. People call him simps and stuff. I'm gonna leave that one alone. And Moni says it seems like George was the only one that was a stand-up. The rest of them, I get the impression, or being told what to do by Benjamin Crump. Let's be clear, who doesn't want to anger the racists, really? Well, I would just say this about his family: do not allow them to become our leaders. They don't lead us, especially talking about some all lives matters. Like, get the hell on with all of that. And Honey D says, "Yep, I should plan my funeral too." Yeah. I'm gonna do them like they used to do me when I was selling life insurance. I ain't gonna be here. I don't care what you do to me. No, that's kind of messed up. Hey, Lucille, how you doing? He says, I don't know what happened to African-American community as far as life insurance, but when I was growing up, the insurance man was a person you saw in our community every Saturday collecting the payments on premiums. That was one way we were able to purchase homes. Absolutely. And that's the old way of doing it, because I used to have to do when I sold life insurance. I would go knock door to door, and most of my clients were Black people. And yeah, like you said, life insurance is not, if you do get the right one, it has a living benefit to where you can have cash value on it and all kind of stuff. And like you said, if people, when people pass, you don't pass on debt, you pass on money to help them continue to survive, buy a house, or whatever they need to do. And so we just need to look at life insurance at a different way. And I'm sure Donovan has life insurance on all of his cats. And Eric, he says, D, you have an El DeBarge, Al. You know, I didn't even think of that when we got together, that he resembled El DeBarge at all. And I just want to say, for the record, he approached me. It ain't like I approached him saying, ooh, that look like an El DeBarge, right? Never crossed my mind. And Marty says, Benjamin Crump has been known to tell those he represents not to come off aggressive as he did with Tamir Rice's mother. And that's why she didn't want him representing her. He's a good lawyer, but he's fake. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what are you using to say that he's a good lawyer? He doesn't go into court. he settles. So, you
Well,
know, he's a good litigator in settlements, but as a lawyer, I don't think if he actually went to court, I don't think he would do very well.
well, you know, actually, Brother Samuel put me onto this a while back, in that Benjamin Crump is not he's a civil rights, I guess, if you will, to where he gets settlements. He's not a criminal defense or, you know, a prosecutor. So he goes, his job is to get the money. But, you know, as I said, I have a problem with it because, you know, they get the money and then it seems like, oh, okay, well, next, you know, it doesn't seem like there's very much of a fight after that. I don't know. And Monet says, I'll put, okay, we at $105.20, ladies. $105.20 is the going bid for Mr. Sadiq's hand in something. I don't know, marriage, but something. And the Pioneer says, I believe one of those reasons Asians and other groups are so successful is because most of them practice a form of eugenics where they make sure who they marry and have children with are good prospects. Yeah, okay, you ain't bringing
they vet their, especially their daughters, any potential suitors. That's very, very true.
Yeah, we need to get back to that. Yeah, when daddy cocked the shotgun on the porch, how can I help you?
I come to marry your daughter Nettie. Nettie.
April says, will voting as a block for independent candidates via Dr. Claude Anderson make a difference? Yeah, that's what he asked us to do.
And even if it doesn't make a difference in the aspect of the outcome we want, it will send a message to the Democrats that we are not messing around. You know, it's about sending a message, period. Because again, we overwhelmingly vote Democratic. So if I know I'm going to get your vote regardless, why should I have to do anything for you? You're going to vote for me anyway.
Well, the premise is because he says that we are the only group of people that vote as a block against our better interests, right? So we overwhelmingly vote for Democrats. And so they just assume our votes, you know, really with no problem at all. But yes, if we vote as a block of independent, we can either put up our own candidate or say, okay, well, this is who we like, and we do it for our better interest, not against our better interest. So yeah, I think it would help. That way we don't, the Republicans, you know, they don't really fight for black votes like that. But definitely the Democrats, they would have to earn our vote. They would really have to do something for it instead of saying, oh, we know we got the Negroes. Hey, we know they gonna vote for us. If we say we change our parties, I'm nonpartisan. I know Donovan is independent. So we change our political affiliation to one of those or whatever. Same thing, I guess, it would depend on who you ask. Then now the Democrats are like, okay, we don't know which way they'll vote. So we actually got to do something. So yeah, I agree with Dr. Claude Anderson's assessment of that. And Donovan said, Al Jackson is a DeBarge. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody looks just like a family like that. I don't know. Maybe he's had some plastic surgery or something. Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna for real. I'm gonna get to all these comments. Eee! Okay, my goodness. All right, so Don says, put me in a pine box and throw me in a hole. I'm done. Same here. Eric says, I agree, Donovan. She already have them. Y'all wilded. Charlie says, Derek Chauvin got 22 and a half years, but I'm sure he will serve 12. We'll see. They said 10, so you're probably right. And let's see here. Moni says, Demetria, that little kid that was shot by the Asian man, nobody has bothered from the Action Network or 300 Network here in Michigan to boycott that racist family noodle restaurant. No action. Exactly. We'll continue eating there and, you know, enjoying some pho noodles or whatever. And Jonelle says the only thing truly foreign is our ignorance. Yep. And Travis says, Donovan, because Donovan asked you about Cynthia McKinney, he says, Donovan, her policies, to my knowledge, didn't target Black people. They were overall good for Americans. She was the first person to challenge Bush Jr. in the Oval Office and report about 9/11. And Honeydew says, right, not fully Black. I had two friends say to me, at least you're going to have light-skinned babies. I said you meant healthy, and that sound, he says, ignorant as F. I actually do not. Health is in melanin. Yeah, it's just ignorance. It's just pure ignorance at this point. And Morning said, Donovan, I think I deserve to put myself in a beautiful casket. I want it to be at least $70,000 because I think I'm worth it, and I'm going to pay a policy. That's what I'm going to cost. I'm worth it. Well, I don't know if you're thinking about getting with Donovan. He's kind of cheap. You might get a pine box or something, or a box from Home Depot. I don't know.
And a box, a body bag. I think you can get those.
A bag.
Crash bag, yeah, crash bag.
The Pioneer says, Demetra, like you said, most ignorant people don't want to change, and you won't change their mind. That's why I said we should stop wasting time with them, separate and focus on uniting and building. Absolutely. And Honeydew says, wow, Kanika, what a story that was. Sheesh, that's a deep conversation.
Yeah, if you guys go to Demetra's page, when that story broke, we were in raw form, and we were covering that story.
Yep, lots of views on that one. And Jonelle says, we're talking colorism. Our name full of white rape. We all have been watered down. We not our natural, rich, dark complexion of our ancestors, more or less as a majority in our natural, God-given right minds to even understand the only thing foreign to us as supreme beings is our ignorance. What foreign to a being in awareness? Read and learn. Yep, educate yourself. And Eric says, all colors come from black. Black is the essence of all colors. Yep. Hey, Frank, what's going on? And war against the Karens, Beckys, and Tyrones. Oh, that name is hilarious. I love it. He's saying, how you doing, by the way? He says, so I have a question. I am biracial, quote unquote. My mother is black and my father is Puerto Rican, white skin. One, but my community says I'm not black. Why? Because my hair doesn't look black, but I am black. I will say this to you, as I said to everybody else, stop having conversations with those ignorant people. You don't have to justify anything to them. You know who you are, and that's all that matters. Those people are looking to devalue you because they don't value themselves, and they don't have enough knowledge to think critically about the things that they're saying to you. And so I would just say, for anybody in that you guys' situation, just stop talking to them. Show them like they say back in the day, top to the hand, right?
You are black. If you say you're black, you're black. If you say you're purple, you're purple.
Yeah, stop arguing with fools. You know, and I'm speaking to myself. We need to stop arguing with fools because it's very draining. That you're not going to change their mind. If they, are bent on telling you ain't black, that's going to be a very long, draining conversation. Just say, you know what? I almost said the MF word, but I'm trying to, listen, get away from me, okay?
Yeah.
Never speak to me again.
Yeah, by the way, this will be the last show Demetra and I will be doing.
Yeah, just tell them, get away from me. Never speak to me again, And Moni says, all of the black politicians that I've seen talk a good game. When they get in office, they become your U-Toms, or I think my Uncle Toms, as in John Conyers got in the 1960s and did a few nice things about the 1980s. Absolutely. And let's see here. And Frank says, war against Karen. That's right. That name was funny. And Mandel, how you doing? And I think, is it Mandel? He says, my mother always told me, don't be mad at the cheater, but the man who pays the ref. That's right. That's because there's always somebody above really pulling the strings. That's actually a great analogy. April says Aretha had no will and testament. She got next to kin, though. See, she had a man, then that'd be different. But she got next to kin. I thought at one point in time she was trying to leave her niece or somebody in charge. I guess the niece was trying to get control because I guess she said she would be the best one to do it. But wow.
Yeah, the last I heard on Aretha, her three sons that are knowledgeable, I know she has one son that is challenged, but they got their part of the petition because they are descendants.
Right. Yeah, they're next to kin. And Mona says these people all promise like Rashida to leave the promise things, and when they get in, they act like they don't know. Oh, you talking about the congresswoman? They don't know you, so I don't know them any longer. Let's be clear. Yeah, vote them out. And Frankie talking about Dr. Boyce said he's a simp. Y'all said it, not me. All right. So Moni says, she says 1,550. Oh, it's getting hot in here, y'all. And she says, okay. Come on, man. You're going to make the price drop. We at almost $1,100 now. Hey, Archie, what's going on? And war against the Karen said, but it shouldn't matter if my dad is a white Puerto Rican, white-skinned Puerto Rican, but at the end of the day, I claim my blackness all day. My father didn't raise me, but I didn't sit up here faking the funk. I love being black. If anybody, I mean, I know you got knowledge of Puerto Ricans. Hell, they were just a different boat stop. So, you black. And again, I'm telling you, please don't get in the habit of explaining yourself to fools. That is a tiring conversation. And Mandel says, if I could show skin and make money like Lizzo, you'd be seeing me. And I can sing a little bit, but he said, play a little flute, rock a trombone. So I admire her game. Shake it to make it, baby. Yeah, I mean, to each his own.
She has talent, and she doesn't realize that. If she really wants to be the way she wants to be, Lizzo, work out. Just work out. Lose the weight that you want to lose, So.
But this is, I don't like what Lizzo's doing, as far as showing up to the games with her booty showing. I don't like it. But who am I to tell her what to do? I don't make sure she eats. I don't keep her lights on and none of that kind of stuff. I don't like it. But I think in this society, we get too far into the habit of trying to, how can I say this? It becomes bullying after a while, right? I'm sure Lizzo's heard all the criticism about her naked ass all over the place. She's going to do what she will with it, right? And Pioneer says we shouldn't perpetuate the Willie Lynch light against the dark. However, we do need to have some standards as to who we consider black. We can't let everybody claim it, or you get too many Rachel Dolezals. Well, it's not up to us to let anybody do anything, And, somebody is mixed with white or black. They are black and they are who they say they are, but we don't have the power to tell people who they are. Like, half of us don't even know who the hell we are, right? If you do a DNA test, you will see you ain't got 100% African blood running through you either. I mean, I'm not saying to you specifically. I'm just saying that a lot of black people run around talking about I'm 100% black. Okay. And Sunlight says Benjamin Crump can't even talk. Y'all, wow.
Mush him out. Mush him out.
The morning says, I'm a gold red tone, Demetra, and I'm coming up as a child. I had more problems with darker skinned boys and used to fight all the time with brown to dark girls who harassed me constantly because of skin. Yeah, that's that. I had a friend who was mixed, and unfortunately, the sisters used to try to beat her up like every day. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? And the Pioneer say, if we don't establish standards as to who is black, then you'll have Caucasians who love rap and wear dreads, call themselves black, and then the next thing you know, they'll be getting the reparations. Well, I mean, I think we can. There's people who try to pass, who like the Kardashians. They try to pass as black for some reason. I don't know if they're going after reparations, but I don't think we should get in the habit of harassing black people who don't look as black as we do, right? Because then it becomes kind of self-hate, right?
Mm-hmm. But speaking of reparations, are you guys aware that in the House of Representatives, they are drafting an Armenian reparations bill that we're going to have to pay for, and the Kardashians are backing and all that other stuff?
Wow. And Marty says people that pretend to be the original Hebrews, that is not or your movie producers who put this in the film, you ain't black enough. Let's be clear. It's a lot of jealousy that I see from the darker tone. Yeah, it's actually flipped. It's crazy. We just need to knock it off. We all black people, right? And Tahiri, how you doing? He says at the Pioneer, if we receive reparations, the white passing ones will come forward.
Wait, yeah. Is that Tahiri or Tajiri? I know it could be either or. Yeah.
I said I said that soft J. Please correct me because I want to say it right. And Honeydew says, hold on, Donovan. My name's April. All right, I'll just pay for friendship. Oh,
I think she said her name ain't April. Maybe that's what she was saying.
Oh, the friendship is gonna cost you. Maybe not as much, but I'm still charging for that too. And Frank says, black people don't be caring about the kids, how nobody boycotting the restaurant. Yeah, I'm telling you, I guarantee if y'all drive by that restaurant in Detroit, it's an Asian restaurant, y'all ain't gonna see nothing but Negroes up in there. Grubbing. That's all you're gonna see up in there. Just black people up in there grubbing after he shot that little 6-year-old baby in his arm for getting his bike. And I guarantee you, somebody live in the area, take a picture, send it to me, and I'll put it up. I just don't think I'm wrong about this. And Gerard, how you doing? He says, I'm thinking about green burial, it's ridiculous to spend so much money on the casket alone. So that's when you bury the person like into a tree, back into the ground, and they become a tree or something like that. That's interesting. I just want you to take me with you if you move, right? Don't leave me, with somebody crazy. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you turn right back into the ground, right? Like compost, is that what that is? In April, you said, what is critical race theory? Well, from what I understand, is the basis of it is teaching a 1619 project, which will teach also about white supremacy and just, the things that Black people have been through in the country since 1619, if you will, although we have been here before that, but they clock it at 1619. But, I'm neither here or there on them teaching critical race theory in schools because they haven't taught us who we are the right ways yet. Why are we so pushing this critical race theory in schools? And another thing is, a lot of people wanting white people to teach their children critical race theory, but yet you ain't teaching them at home what, about themselves. And so it's like, I don't know. To me, I just think it's more valuable to teach your own kids. Like I say, Jewish people don't send their kids to school to learn about who they are as Jews. Asians don't do it. White boy, they hear about their history all day in school, but nobody else, Donovan and his damn cat, nobody else does that but us. Oh, well, I want you to why you don't teach my kid about them being Black? Why don't you teach your own kid about them being Black? I'm serious. Like, my daughter's almost 29, but I always taught her who she was from a child, even before she went to school. So I wouldn't even care about the critical race theory at all. But then again, that's us as Black people begging them to do something for us. Are we really that gone? Well, we are begging the white school system to teach us about, they're not going to teach the real and what they did to us. They're not going to do that. They've never done it. They're not going to teach that they are the most horrible people walking planet Earth in regards to every race besides themselves. They're not going to teach that.
Yeah, because that would be acknowledging our stand in regards to reparations and all that other stuff. They would be admitting wholeheartedly that, yes, we did all this stuff. And it's almost like testifying against yourself. You know what I mean?
It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to some of these comments that I haven't read already. So it's not that I'm skipping y'all. I'm just trying to get to some of the other ones that I haven't read. And Jonelle says, tell them Bob Marley was legend and his father was white. Right. But
a deadbeat white guy, by the way.
He was white nevertheless, though, right? But so how many people are going to discount him and tell him he wasn't Black? There's so many of our greats who had white blood running through their veins. But, we got white blood running through our veins, whether we like it or not. Now Donovan got me jacked up, and I said Tahiri. So maybe you tell me how to say it.
Tajiri.
Okay. Let me say Moni. And there has been a lot of abuse directed toward to darker females by all shades. Yes, indeed. Okay. Let me see here. This thing will skip up on its own, but I'm getting there. I'm finna get there right now. Here we go. Or maybe not. Okay, wait. I passed it up.
What you niggas want? We gave you a goddamn holiday. Y'all still asking for something. We gave you statues and a holiday, and y'all still not satisfied.
Stop it. All right. And so Jonelle says, God is not into complexion, but content. May your vessel be filled with the truth, for such God is right over left. Don't be the wicked. Revelations 18:4. And Megan, what's going on with you? Says, hey, I finally caught you live. Yay. And let's see here. And Frank says, Moni, exactly. And Mando says, shake that money maker. She'll get skinny when she get too old to carry that this much weight. Bunches of formerly big girls gone skinny whenever their knees start hurting too much. You ain't lying. Because I know when I put on some weight, my knees would be like, is you serious? Then I have to do something about it.
See, but you guys that don't know, Demetra comes from a family that they have drumsticks. They got drumsticks. They got the small bottom leg like a chicken leg, and that's big old thick thighs. Big booty. She got the drumsticks. So
It's a lot to carry on your knees. It's like, all right, now I need you to go around this track a couple of times, okay? And Charlie says, we all need to recognize that legalized slavery still exists, even in a federally recognized post-Juneteenth era. You better believe it. And let's see here. The bid is still at $1,050, y'all. What we talking? We got quiet. Donna, see, you should have stood up. Okay?
Hey, but at least I ain't got that little pot belly. Not yet. I haven't got it yet, but I'm
not yet. Not yet. So that's a plus, ladies. That's a plus. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? You said, so are we still using the, and then I think your comment cut off. I'll get to it when I see it. And Mandy says, I'm light as Steph Curry. His grandma and my dad were in the same colored high school. We are up from slavery. Plenty of new Africans who ain't. Yeah, it's sad. It is really sad. We just continue to bring the stuff that our slave masters were doing to us, and then we want to put it on our people. Like, it's really sad. Like I said, y'all better than me. I just don't even have conversations with, I'm going to just call it what it is, stupid people anymore. I just refuse to do it. I'm sorry, I ain't going to do it. Call me elitist or whatever. I'm just done with it. And to Jerry. Okay, guys. So that's how you say it. All right, thank you. Thank you to Jerry. So Donovan was right once. And Frank says, Marcus Garvey was right. A lot of us should be left behind. The traitors should be punished. Well, we'll let them get punished by somebody else. Let's just leave them behind, right? And then maybe they'll get on board one day. Mando says, Christiansburg Industrial Institute, the colored high school. Okay, I've never heard that before. Paid in full. What's going on with you? Says, my family line goes back 172 years from what info is available. My fourth grandfather had his freed papers burned, thrown back into slavery, foundational Black America. Wow.
Yeah, here's the thing. When people say, well, I don't know my history, I don't know this. Everything is documented, and it's in the Library of Congress. You have receipts. We were property. So if you really want to really go back, you only talk about 4 or 5 generations from where we're at right now. 4 or 5 generations. So you go back 4 or 5 generations. If you really want to know certain things, you can go to the Library of Congress. All of that, all these receipts, all these banking transactions, they're still there. So you can get that information.
Right. And Jonelle says they only took the physical chains off. The mental chains are still on. Mental slavery is slavery. The Black Holocaust continues. Miseducation is rape and slavery. Our separation is best. Revelations 18:4. Come out of the whitewash, and white people in every way be free truly. Yep. And Sandra, he says, are we still claiming biracial people as Black? Are we still using the one drop rule? Is this law in 2021? We can't keep claiming biracial people as Black. 2 Black people make a biracial, make a Black child. Well, again, I would just say this: then we all biracial. So where is the litmus test to say you are fully Black as a foundational Black American or an ADOS? Where's the litmus test? Because by your definition, we all biracial. Do it look like I got 100% Black blood running through me? And both of my parents are Black. They don't have any immediate. Now, my grandfather, on his side, they, clearly got white blood running through them. And my mom too, on her side, the deeper down the line, they got white blood. So by that standard, are we truly Black, or are we all biracial if you really think about it?
But at the end of the day, who gave us the right to judge?
Come on, Sergeant Waters. Come on with it.
Who is fit to be a Negro and not to be a Negro? You see what I'm saying? Who gave us that right?
Come on with the soldier story. Come on with it. Donovan, you stupid. And Tahiri, he says, Moni, everyone has their experience, but like I said, darker receive crap also. Everybody does. You're right. And Honeydew says, y'all keep reading April's comments from IG or Facebook flirting with you. It's messed up, my crush. My name is also April. Oh, all jokes though. Love y'all hard work. See y'all Friday work call. All right, don't work too hard. And a pioneer says, I agree with we need to teach our own children our own history instead of expecting Caucasians to do it. In fact, we should start teaching in period, like Don said. We found out we are better at it anyway. Yeah. And let's see. And Latanya says, you're absolutely correct. Bringing education in school about Black history will reveal all the horrid things that was done to our people. And they're just not going to do that. They're not. And
wait, the bid is up to $2,500. There it is.
Word? Oh, so I skipped it. $2,500 for Moni. $2,500. Now we talking. And Jafia, I hope I said that right. Jafia. He says nobody, and how you doing, by the way? He said nobody asked for a holiday. Anti-lynching been on Congress floor since 1922. Give us that. Right. They ain't gonna do that though.
They got that on the floor. The new revised bill, Kamala Harris and what's his name from New Jersey?
Booker.
Yeah, Booker. They proposed that 2 years ago? It's still sitting there. The revised one, it still can't get a vote. They still can't pass it.
They ain't gonna pass it. And Don, he said a true critical race theory is actually taught at the graduate level and looks at structural racism in an institutionalized system, not teaching the kids, white folks, self-hate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just to me, whatever level they teach it at, yeah, college, to me, yeah, I've heard it there, in some form or fashion. But they're not going to teach our children that in the grade school level. We should be teaching them that already. Like my daughter never went to school thinking that, they were her friend per se. She knew the truth. So Honeydew says, I fully understand how dark skin get the ringer since we young see color and the mistreatment. But when I dropped that knowledge on bullies, they stuck on stupid. And that's why I would just stop talking to them. And Brother Samuel says, the Holy Quran says, enjoying good and forbid evil, and their Bible, ye are the salt of the earth. I quote that to say that it's okay to call out our errant behavior. However, it is the spirit in which you do it that makes the difference. We should condemn it on one of three levels: physically by doing something, audibly by speaking out against it, or three, mentally in your mind. Absolutely, I like that. Jennifer, how you doing? He says, Demetra, are you in Houston? Yes, I am. Yeehaw. Yes, I'm in Houston. And Jafia, I know I jacked that up. I'm sorry. You're actually replying to the pioneer. And let's see. Marty said, Demetra is like some that will run different Black business, Black media. And every time you look up, they are ashamed to tell if they are a woman. That they have a man that's white or a white wife. I think you meant. I think a lot of people won't do it because they just don't want to hear the backlash, if you will, and the judgment, or whatever the case is. I don't think it's about being ashamed. It's just about let's just stay focused here. I think that's really what it's about, right? And Honeydew, aka April, he says, "Yo, Pioneer, if diaspora come here and get on you're on our code." Perfect. We are foundationals fought for immigration, but those diasporas need to stop trying to sidestep us. Yes, indeed. Hey, Terry, how you doing? You say, I tell people all the time that I'm no longer in the field of fixing stupidity in people. I now just use their screw ups to teach. My thing hopped up. Let's see. Okay, I just now use this screw up to teach my children life skills and things not to do. There you go. And Painful says Summerest Country, Maryland, Archives, 1849. And let's see here. Go to some of these other comments. And LL says, hi, Donovan. Can anyone go to the Library of Congress to look up our people?
Yes. Anything that is tax funded, that means you paid for it. You own it. It is partly yours. You can go in there and do that. But, if you really want to do some research, I'm sure they have the Library of Congress website. Go to the website, look it up. You can make requests. You can do fire requests, all kinds of stuff. Anything that is tax funded is yours. You're the boss. So these police departments, it's tax funded. They work for you. So whenever they talk about, oh, well, the police, we're going to sue the police and stuff like this, you're suing yourself. So when these police keep fucking up out there, you're paying for it. we all pay for it. So yeah, tax funded things, it's yours. You have every right. You can make a request, get any document you want.
All right, I was just reading some of these comments. I'm not going to be able to read most of them out loud, but I did read them. And war against Karen's, Becky's, and Tyrone. She says, laugh out loud. I live out here in Georgia, so I sound hella country. Thank you for reading my comments and loving you, my username. No, absolutely. And Terry says, homeschooling here, and my children are getting lessons that public schools will never get. I don't understand what's the deal with the Stockholm syndrome. I don't get it either. Like, we just, you got to teach us our children about. No, they don't. They're just not gonna do it. Okay, be happy that they gave you the Martin Luther King and we shall overcome, and you Negroes just turn other cheek. That's all they're gonna give you, okay? Because if they taught your ass and your children about Nat Turner, oh, they'd be in trouble.
No, well, the funny thing is they'll teach them about Martin Luther King, be peaceful and don't protest and stuff, but they never teach them about the Martin Luther King that was like, oh, damn, I screwed up. I led my people into a burning building. Why we can't wait, such and such and such. They don't teach the other part of Martin that was very militant, and he realized that the route that they were going was messed up. They don't teach that, but they'll tell you the peaceful one.
They're not going to teach that, okay? All right, and Charlie says, even African people are biracial or relating to or involving people from two races, having parents from two races, which is true.
Noah Wiley, South African.
Oh, Noah, the talk show host.
Yeah, the talk show host. Yeah, I said Wiley.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Sorry.
Yeah, he jacked me up with that one. I was like, "Who? Wiley Coyote?" Oh, and let's see here. So I won't read the replies to Jerry. I'm gonna say it right. So many of us are
Tajiri, Japanese. Tajiri.
That's what I said, Tajiri. I started to say it the other way because that's the way I'm used to saying it. So he says, so many of us are brainwashed and choose the comfort and conformity of Stockholm syndrome and don't even know it. That's the cold part. And Mr. Research, how you doing? Says applause to Demetra K and her intelligence. Clap, clap. But a second applause to those legs. And Donovan, I hope you recover soon. Yes, when police get sued, traffic tickets increase for everyone else. And I know somebody who got 2 traffic tickets within like a week's time. I'm like, yeah, you might want to slow down or something. I don't know. And Maury says, Demetra, my father's casket was $75,000, and because we knew the funeral home, they cut him a deal at $67,000. But he had been paying for his policy over 45 years, and that's what he wanted. Wow, that's a couple of cars. And Francis,
wait, I just want to say in my own defense, there is no way, I don't care what my mother requested, there's no way I would put that kind of money in the ground. There's just no way. Okay.
Unless that's that money that you bury in your backyard. And Frank says, I think they use MLK. Yes, indeed. And Terry says, exactly. In my homeschooling, we differentiate between the real MLK and the Santa Martin. Exactly. And Mr. Researcher says she's getting all the names right, but mine. Okay, C.A. Trey. Say it 3 times with me. See, I jacked it up already. C.A. Trey. I'm gonna get it right. And the Pioneer says we're not going to start embracing Caucasians with a black great grandmother as black brothers, but want to turn our backs on and diss the brother from Nigeria or sister from Haiti. Hell no. Well, I mean, I don't really even know where to go with that, because I mean, I just think it gets to be, well, that's colorism, Show me your papers. Show me that you're black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think we can pretty much, I think we're smart enough to discern silliness at this point, because there's some fully black people who look white. What do you do about that? I mean, unless we're going to start running around with DNA swabs, open your mouth and, start swabbing people. I mean, like, what? You know what I'm saying? And Moni says it's very luxurious. I think when you're paying for the way you want to be, it's your insurance money. You can do what you like. like my daddy paid for it, and then his son had him cremated to keep from paying for a crypt. Wow. And let's see here. I'm just looking at some of the comments. And Honeydew says, Pioneer, I agree 1,000%. And on many things you say, I feel we're coming from or agree. I'm here to learn more and more. Keep chatting. And then Honeydew says, I don't know how to highlight names. So anyway, y'all, that was the end of the comments. We did it once again. It never fails. We get to the end of the comments. So I thank y'all so much for being here. I really haven't eaten today. Well, let me quit lying because, I had a banana and a sandwich, but that was early. It was, nothing major. So I'm hungry. Donovan's probably going to go get him a piece of chicken or something.
Winco, the best chicken in the world. Winco.
So he say, Winco, the best chicken in the world. That's a California thing. So anyway, you guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for being here. I believe we'll be on a war zone tomorrow. I don't know, but you guys will know when we know. Again, if you guys want to, there's a Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. If you want to donate, to those of you guys who have donated, I thank you so much. And those of you who do, and the Pioneer, I am going to have that video up this week. That is my word. Scouts honor. Gang, Scouts honor. I have that super chat video because that's what I have to do in order to get it passed. And so anyway, you guys, we're going to get out of here. I thank y'all so much. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there and stay cool because it is hot everywhere, right? So we'll see you guys tomorrow and then definitely next week. And I just want to say that on Wednesdays, I'm going to start going live by myself to talk about relationship stuff, from a very seasoned woman's point of view. It's going to be talking about everything relationship. And then I'm sure Donovan will join me every once in a while so I can beat him up. You guys can see it. So anyway, I will see you guys later. And Smoke Town for Life, how you doing? See you guys later. You guys have a great day. Peace.